Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This week, instead of making a plant video, I am making a video on candle making. I have some cute teacups that I've put wax in with a wick to turn it into a teacup candle. These ones are scented, but I have some candle dye for wax. So I'm going to make some teacup candles scented and dyed, and also I am going to try filtering / recycling the wax. This will be the first time I have tried that, so that should be fun. So let's get started. I have my saucepan here, I have my can that I'm going to use to melt the wax, and I have some cotton fabric here that I'm going to use to filter the wax. I'm gonna take this chunk and just put it in here and set it in there and let that heat up. And once the wax is melted, I'm going to pick this up and hopefully all of the grime and gook will be left in the fabric and the wax will just come out and stay in the can. Alright, this looks like it is ready. So I'm just going to take the end here and just lift it up. So it's not completely done melting. So put it back on the heat. But so far so good, I think. Alright, let's see if this is ready now. Well, it's all melted. Okay. I'm going to get another one and run it through again, pouring it into this pitcher, and hopefully that will get out a little bit more because it still looks kind of dark in there. So if it doesn't catch anything, that's fine, but just in case, I'm going to run it through a little bit more. Alright, let's see how this goes. This is the second batch. You can see how dirty that is. This is the second batch of wax that I have filtered, and this is what's left. I think I'm going to grab a popsicle stick and try and scrape some of that off and hopefully make it a bit easier to filter the rest. Okay. Since this is taking a while to completely filter out, I'm going to fold it together and use the popsicle stick and press the wax out. Flipping it over and repeating that. Alright, now that that is clean, I am going to push it. Actually, let's take care of that first. Bigger picture. Put that there. I have a smaller piece that just to ensure that we get all of the grossness out. Put there. Then slowly start pouring it in. I'm going to use the same popsicle stick, just not the same end that I was using for scraping the other. But that end, and just kind of rubbing along the bottom, helping to break up the residue from the wax before. And just giving it a clean surface to go through. All the wax that is not melted, I'm going to put back in the first one and get that reheated, and then just keep putting it back through. Alright, here is the fabric. I'm going to go for this piece here and that chunk and that. They do have a little bit of stuff in there that I want to get out, otherwise they're mostly clean. And some more crumbly bits. And a lot of this is wax that is dripped on the side of a candle, so I'm just repurposing it. Squish that up, stick that in there, in the water, and turn the burner on. Okay, so this is what it looks like after it's done. It's a bit darker than the original wax looked, but I think it's going to be fine. I could probably filter it another time, but I think this will be good. So I'm going to start it heating to make candles. I have 2 teacups here that I thrifted, and hopefully I'll be able to make 2 teacups out of it, but if not, it'll just end up being 1. So. Alright, while that continues to melt, I want to talk about the fabric I used. I used cotton fabric. I'm pretty sure it wasn't bleached. I think this bigger piece, the first piece that I used to filter it, I think I'm going to go ahead and throw that away because I think a lot of the nastiness did end up coming through a bit. And this is the second piece. It doesn't look that dirty, but I think I'm gonna, and I don't think I'm going to reuse either of these for future wax, just because I feel like the wax has pushed the fibers apart enough that it has let some particles fall through, because that was darker than, say, some of the wax that's on here still. So I think it let too many of the particles come through for it to be reusable. But this is really close. If this wasn't as dirty as it is, I would be tempted to keep it for using as wax paper, the reusable wax paper that people make with beeswax. But I don't think that this is going, I don't really want to use this just because it is so dirty. But that's another use that you could use little bits of wax for. Alright, the wax is melted. I'll bring that forward and put a cup there, and we'll start. I'm going to pour in a small layer at the bottom so it can hold the wick in place. I prefer doing that rather than using the metal ones that come with and using like the gel or whatever to hold it in place. That's just a personal preference. Still kind of hot. All right, we are back. I put the wax back on to heat up more. And now I am going to add some color. I have some specifically wax, I have wax dye. You don't want to use just like regular pigments because they have a tendency to be too big of a particle and they'll get drawn up in the wick, and that will cause it to have problems burning, and in some cases not even burn because the particles are too big. So I have specific wax dye for candle making. And I'm going to pour some more in. It's not necessary to dye the wax, but I just want it to have some extra color and depth and dimension to it. So I'm going to color it, and I have a scent that I want to give it as well. And with a popsicle stick, I am going to swirl that in. And there, it doesn't look very purple, so I need to add more. So we get the purple color that we want. It's been a while since I've used it, so it might take more than what I was thinking it would. Putting drops on my hand, or you can use like a plate or a napkin or something to see if the color is what you want it to be. I think I want to add just a little bit more. I don't want it to be too strong of a purple color, but I do want it to be kind of purple, mostly to match the cup that it's in. I think color-wise I'm going to call that good. I want to add scent real quick. I'm going with lavender to match the purple vibes. And then I will set this aside to finish hardening up, and I think I will try to make another candle. Alright, let's see how much we can get out of this one. Again, just a thin layer to hold the wick in place at the bottom. Let that harden up, and then pour in the rest of it. Alright, and we are back, ready to do the last little bits of this. Hopefully I have enough wax. If it was not, in fact, enough wax, but that's okay. We'll work with it. That is going to do it for this week's video. Like the video if you like the video, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.